I'm still proud of myself for that.
I know.
I'm so proud that I made that. Well, welcome to another edition of We Don't Know Either podcast, the podcast where we don't know what the fuck we're going to talk about
Except we
either.
do today.
Well, actually, we kind of do. How long can we go on this subject?
I could go for like 3 hours about it, but I am very
What about
informed.
this subject, not about sex.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah. Anyway, um, so yeah, for those who don't know, um,
Davy's
kind of
dick. What?
what? Everybody knows I'm a dick. So about 2 weeks ago, I went back to Jersey. That's why we didn't do the podcast. And I went to go pick up my daughter, 20 years old.
Was on the podcast last week.
Oh yeah, that's right. Who was on the podcast last week?
With
That was
my daughter.
a quick turnaround, huh? So yeah, so I went to Jersey. Spent 19 hours in the car. Couple $100 to get there.
My money.
Shut the fuck up. I wasn't getting home if you didn't let me borrow some money. So you're involved in this too now.
It's not my fault.
So
I was nothing but nice to the kid. Not my fault.
I know, right? No, I wasn't either. So yeah, went Jersey, picked her up, turned around, came back. She was all like, let's go, let's go, let's go. I want out of here, I want out of here, I want out of here. Okay. Turned around. We had a nice drive back. We had some fun. We played some music. You know, she slept the whole way for the most part. Yeah, drove back 19 hours, got here, emptied her stuff, Code changed the rooms around, made the room nice for her. So she Code actually gave up his room. Code took the small room. He's like, which room do you want? And she's like, the big room. And he's like, okay. This poor 6'3" kid was in a smaller room where the studio was, you know. And then so she was here for a couple days. We went to
I just love my cow. Isn't it pretty? I'm listening.
We went to the Falling in Reverse concert, Avenged Sevenfold. We had a great time.
You for that, like, so bad.
Dude, it was an amazing concert.
I love Falling in Reverse.
I forgot that was Ricky Radke's band. And yeah, they were amazing.
I haven't been to a concert since pre-COVID.
Dude, it was so much fun. Count Dracula opened up for them. Dude used a chainsaw.
Nice.
It was insane. He used a chainsaw as a prop. Which is nuts. So yeah, so it was a great concert. We had a great time. She was introduced to some new music. She loved it. You know, took pictures, took videos, you know, of her being amazed, and she was having a good time. We do the podcast on Friday. Everything's honky donkey dory.
So her and my daughter hit it off too.
Yeah, I know. They were like BFFs. You know, went food shopping, you know, get some stuff. Oh, okay. She got a bunch of stuff. Everything was fine. Saturday morning. She comes upstairs. She goes, hey, the garbage stinks. Hi, Mama B.
Hi. Am I Mama K or
your dick? Anyway. So yeah, so so she comes in and says something about the garbage, and I'm just in the room chilling, and I don't think nothing of it. And I go, okay, well, yeah, whatever. A couple hours later, I go downstairs to the room. I was calling her actually. She didn't pick up the phone, so I went downstairs, and I figured maybe she was asleep. Knock on the door, don't hear nothing. Open the door, she's not there. I'm like, okay, it's kind of weird. Call her, nothing. Call her, nothing. Call her, nothing. And so I called the roommate and I go, hey, have you heard from Madison? And he's like, No, why? I'm like, she's not with you? Nope. Talk to code. Uh, talked to code, and he was like, um, nah, she's not here. I go, okay. Um, and then trying to find out where she was, didn't no answer. Called her mother, had a conversation with her mother, found out some things that maybe I should have been told beforehand. Um, yeah, I mean, I didn't know. Apparently, she has some mental issues that I didn't know about. Uh, and
Didn't she talk about them though in the podcast last week?
she's I don't think she stated did she say she was bipolar at all, or
No, she didn't say she was bipolar.
I don't she has, some things, and I'm not very well versed, but I know she had anxiety, and I thought that maybe coming out here would have been better for her, and you guys spoke to her about the anxiety and how, mental health is very well taken care of out here, how they will, work with you and you know, kind of let you set your own kind of path. So,
Yeah.
so I thought it was, you know,
She
I mean,
seemed happy. She
I
did.
know.
And she's got a great voice for a podcast too.
Yeah. Yeah, she does. I fucking hate it. I really do. I fucking hate it. It's like that sultry
And she was
voice.
even like trying to get my daughter to come out here so they could hang out.
Yeah. Like
And
it was
it's so strange because it's like, and I know it's not really comparable, but it's kind of like when people take their lives. It's like 1 minute they're just like happy and like everything seems cool. They're making plans, and then the next day it's just everything changes.
yeah. Yeah. I mean, to me, it would I guess it's the same thing because she's just here 1 minute and she's gone the next. Like I had no idea where she was. Nothing.
No, you didn't even know until I told you.
Well, yeah. So the roommate finally got a text message from her saying all this fucking weird, like that that he didn't know my past, and it was a dark past, and blah blah blah, and ominous, and she needs time away from her family, and and all this like nonsense shit. And I'm just like, and she's like, oh, and I was afraid to tell him, and I'm like, how? Like, why? Like, code's afraid to tell me some things too. Like, he got fired, motherfucker.
Mm.
He got fired from his job, and I know exactly why he got fired. He didn't tell me why he got fired, but he just didn't go. I wasn't home to take him to work. These kids these days aren't as motivated as we used to be. To
It's
ride your
not
bike.
entirely true. My younger daughter is my assistant, and
Well,
she's very
where does she have?
motivated.
Where does she have to go?
Well, she doesn't.
Oh, okay. So anyway, like I was saying before, you fucking rudely interrupted me.
I'm just saying, not all
Well,
kids.
nobody asked you to say anything.
I'm sorry. What's my job as a co-host?
So yeah. So these kids are. Yeah, I know. Nobody will. Nobody
Put it
will.
up so people know what you're saying.
Yeah, I know. Give me a second.
No, you should do it quicker before you respond.
Shut up. So yeah, no, like, nobody will. So
God, my
we thought,
kids' words, they cut like knives. They got their mama's genes for sure.
yeah, you took the words out of my mouth. I was gonna say they're just like you.
Hmm.
That's why they have no filter,
I know, and
none.
people ask why they don't live with me. I'm like, do you think I want to live with two other little versions of me? Mm-mm. They can stay with their dad. I love my daughters more than anything, but I no. I mean, if they wanted to come, they're more than happy to, but it would be an adventure.
Yeah, I mean, I couldn't imagine three of yous living in the same house. Mitch would grab Owen and just out.
No,
They'd leave.
he'd leave Owen. Oh, Owen has like, well, Owen's very attached to my daughter Hannah, my younger daughter. Um, and now Oh god. So Hannah and Haley were fighting and Haley was like hysterical on the phone. And Owen's like, Hale, I love you. You're like my favorite sister. And she's like, thanks, bud. And he's like, do you think you can buy me some Robux? I'm like, you manipulative little shit.
Well,
She's like, I got you. It's okay. I'm like,
well, that's the thing. Like, what up, man? Uh, it's so she's gone and can't find her. Can't find her. Get this ominous message from the roommate about it,
is it
and
your roommate or her roommate?
my roommate, my
Okay.
roommate, the guy who moved in, and
Why is she texting him?
dude, it was all because he was living here and we were all in a group chat and everything like that. And they were having, that's the thing. Like they were having fun. They were going out to grab food and this and that. Like it was a whole thing of like,
Have
it
you
was
done a
this.
background check on him though?
He's a fucking puppy. He's a
He's
big
a
giant
puppy.
puppy. He's a big giant puppy. He's
Mm-hmm.
dumb.
Texting your
At
20-year-old daughter.
he's 23.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, no, I would
I thought he was our age.
no, he's 23. So yeah, that's what I mean. Like everybody was just fucking like one big happy family for like a day and a half, and then she goes missing. I don't know where she is. Like I had to go back to work. I know some of the people at where I work. They might know some people around town, so I said, "Hey, do me a favor, just be on the lookout," because I had no idea.
Mm-hmm.
She's in the middle of in my head. She's in the middle of Kansas with no one because she said she was with friends. Like friends? What do you mean friends? You don't know any fucking body here.
Yeah.
So so sends him the message, and I'm out of my mind. I'm out of my mind, and I'm trying not to worry about it. But a kid. What am I supposed to do? I'm fucking frightened out of my fucking gourd. And so she nothing. She says she's fine. I call her mother, have a conversation with her mother. Her mother tells me all this, all this stuff. And what I really want to tell her mother is, this was you.
Mm-hmm.
You allowed all this to happen.
Yep.
You allowed her to think these things. I'm without a doubt certain that she put certain things in her head to make her think that I'm this bad person because she's even
Yeah.
talked to my first ex-wife and she's told her, "Man, your dad's never done anything to you." She's like, "Your
Yeah.
dad hit you once and that was it." Like, I don't understand where you think this whole traumatic thing happened. And she's very manipulative also because she would call me, ask me for money. I'd send her money. Then she'd call Trish and ask Trish for money. And then she would call my first ex-wife and ask her for money, and she would just work her way down the line of people so she can get money, and it's just like, and of course, nobody said anything to anybody because why would anybody say anything to anybody? Because why would we all be on the same fucking page? Because that would help.
Well, and that's the thing is like co-parenting's hard. And I don't co-parent at all with my ex-husband. When I had the girls, we did. The girls called him 3 times a day, every day. I made sure of it. They would call and say good morning, call when they got home from school, call and say good night. He would come down and take them for 2 weeks, and I never asked where. I was just like, "Have fun." Like, just make sure you take them to school. But once he took custody over when I had to be admitted into the hospital, it was 3 years before he allowed me to talk to them again. And when I finally like, it's just so stupid. I filed for custody in February of 2013 and he filed in March. And my dumbass lawyer withdrew our petition, so I turned into the defendant instead of the plaintiff, which doesn't make sense. I didn't realize that till recently, but when we sat in mediation, like all the things that like he said about me, none of it was true. He had nothing to prove it, no basis, and they said because I hadn't seen them in 3 years that I had to have supervised visitation. I'm like, "So wait, this douche keeps me from my kids for 3 years. I have to be supervised, but he can have anyone babysit. Like, he could just call someone off Craigslist that's never met the kids, and they can
Zanny the
babysit."
nanny.
Yeah, Zanny and Nanny. I'm talking about a real one. But, and when I had my first visitation with my daughters that weekend, I I mean, God, I barely talked to them. I hadn't seen them. And I mean, I couldn't even get in the door. They like tackled me as soon as I got in the door. And they were still pretty young. But I remember asking Hannah, um, you know, do you still talk to your uncle? And she's like, well, not anymore because we found you. I'm like, what do you mean you found me? Well, daddy didn't know where you were for 3 years. I'm like, Hannah, I called you every day. Like, I have a harassment charge because of how much I called him trying to get in touch with my daughters. And he twisted it that I was harassing him. It was supposed to be dropped, but whatever. But it's like people like so overuse the term parental alienation now, but it is a real thing. And it's like a twofold abuse because it's not just abusing the ex, it's abusing the child too. So my daughter spent 3 years of their life thinking that I completely abandoned them, and both of them have abandonment issues now because of it. And you can't really read it. Zoom in. But
Shut up. I know what I can be an adult sometimes. You know that, right?
no.
Anyway.
But it hurts the child because the current like the live-in parent is constantly talking badly about the absent parent. And it makes it to the point where the child feels like they need to choose between which parent. And so, like in my case, for example, my daughters had to choose between me and my ex-husband and their stepmother, and they felt guilty if they loved me. If they wanted to have a relationship with me, they felt guilt. And they were under 10 years old. No one should feel guilt. And actually, like, it was
About
so
being with their
bad.
own parent.
Yeah. When I when their school got wind that I had taken up a custody case because he wasn't sending me report cards, I wasn't included in anything. I still haven't gotten their report cards, and it's in the court order. Their principal called them down and said, "How do you feel about your mother being back in your life?" And my daughters came to me after that when we had one of our visits and was like, "Why is everyone so concerned about you being in my life?" And it's like, what am I supposed to say? Because I don't want to tell them, well, your dad's a jackass and abusive and kept you from me.
Isn't
So
that
it's,
funny? The
mm-hmm,
abuser is the one who's manipulating the kids
yeah,
to think that the other parent is the abuser.
mm-hmm,
It's insane.
it is.
It's insane to be able to have the power to do that takes a special kind of person.
Yeah. I mean, I'm seeing now that it was more their stepmother than their dad. Um, Me
I
and
could
him
see that.
we've
I
actually
could see
been nicer to each other lately. It's weird. But the first visit, like, my oldest daughter had a phone at that point, and, she's like,
they didn't even want her to have an iP I bought her an iPod because remember the first iPods had,
yeah,
you could do FaceTime on it. So I bought her an iPod so she could use FaceTime and her mother would take it. She
mhm,
wouldn't let her use it. "I don't understand why you bought her this." I said, "So I can FaceTime her so I don't have to call you. I
yep,
bought it so that way I can FaceTime her Never.
Well, and that's
Where's the iPad? iPod. Oh, she can't use it. She's grounded.
mhm. Well, I gave what my daughters were when I actually moved back home for a little while. I mean, it was like 6 months. I couldn't take it. But I gave them stuffed animals, and I had burner phones sewed into the stuffed animals because they were terrified all the time, and they never told me why.
Like a fucking prison?
No, like a
No.
domestic violence victims do it all the time.
Do they
Well,
really?
mhm. I used to keep one in the toilet.
In where?
In the toilet bowl.
In the wearable?
Shut up. The thing you
Maybe
the
maybe if
thing
you
you
put your
piss and shit in, okay?
maybe
God,
if you
you're
put your
from the
teeth.
same area I'm from, and you're making fun of my
No,
accent.
no, no. You're from wherever Philadelphia it is.
Dopia.
Yeah. And maybe if you put your teeth in, you'd be able to say toilet.
I can't, they don't fit. I gotta go back. God.
Well, how long is it gonna be? Because you've been saying that for how long now?
I
How long
keep
we been doing
forgetting to
this?
make an
Months?
appointment. I don't
You
care.
keep
Shut up. Anyway, they found their burner phones and took them. And I called the police to report it stolen because it was mine. It was on my plan, all that stuff. Cops wouldn't do shit. Oh, it's a civil case. But like they chose to spend the night at my house, and I told them, technically I have to take you home, but if you don't want to go home, I'm not going to take you. So we went somewhere that night and to stay because we were at my house for a little while, and him and his wife showed up with the cops trying to break into my apartment, which was completely out of their jurisdiction, and it's a civil matter, so they were so breaking the law. I had my
So,
local police department come out and issue trespassing warnings to all the police department of his that showed
so
up.
wait, so they couldn't do anything about the phones because it was a civil, but they could
Yeah,
come and break your
I
door
know.
down because
Mhm.
it's not
Yeah.
what?
It was so bad. I had the squawk box. I beat it with a hammer because they were just holding the button. And I mean, it was like complete psychological torture, I swear. We were all huddled up in the basement, and
I mean,
because
you're used to that.
they were shining lights. Shut up, dude. They were shining lights. It was insane what they were doing. So I took them. I tried to get a restraining order, but I went to the wrong courthouse. I should have gone to theirs and whole bunch of stuff. Needless to say, I said the next night, listen, I'll take you. I have to take you home. But if you don't want to, I'll go to jail. And I don't care. I'll go to jail for you any day of the week.
I've been there before.
Yeah, I did. Well, at that time, they didn't know that. But I said, if you don't want to, I'm not going to force you. So they decided to go. And I get a phone call from my father that my son's going to go missing. So I called my husband after I called the cops when I were waiting for them to come. And I was like, "Are the girls still in the car with you?" And he's like, "Yeah." I'm like, "As soon as you drop them off, call me." So he does. And I'm like, "My dad just threatened to kidnap Owen." And he's like, "That's strange because Amanda came out and tried to take him out of his car seat. What the fuck are you doing?" Yes, sir.
You can keep talking. Don't mind me for a second. I forgot to put the lights on, so I'm trying to put the lights on. Trying to be a little incognito without you just going, "What are you doing?"
Well, you weren't incognito at all.
You're
Anyway,
cognito.
so Amanda tried to take Owen out of the car seat. She was acting so distraught, it was like I kept her kids from her. So when we finally called that police department to report the attempted kidnapping, the cop was like, "She probably was high." I said, "Then go arrest her." "Well, I can't arrest her for that. If she is so fucking high that she confused teenage girls for or confused my 1-year-old son for teenage girls, then go arrest her for child endangerment." They wouldn't do anything. And then a couple days later, I get a text from Hannah Well, not a text. We were playing a game. I can't remember. I think it was Word Chums. That she said she wanted to go live with mommy and she didn't want to live with them anymore. So they kicked her out of the house at 11 o'clock at night. She was 8.
She was
Called the
what?
police. It was 8 at night and they kicked her
No,
out of the
how
house.
old was she?
She was 11. Or no, she was 8 and they kicked her out at 11 o'clock at night.
They kicked an 8-year-old out at 11 o'clock.
Called the cops. Cops wouldn't do shit. So I drove down there and I went to the 7-Eleven on the corner figuring maybe she walked there and one of the
Have
guys
you
was
been to
getting
that corner before?
frequently. Dick. I'd never worked a corner, just like to put that out there. Like it never happened on a corner. Anyway, so the one of the workers was getting off work, so he said he would walk into the backyard, and yeah, she was sitting out on the porch. They didn't let her in until the next morning. Then I found out like a few years ago, they both ran away, or no, their stepmother kicked them out of the house and then called and filed a report that they ran away to try to put them into the system. The cops contacted my oldest daughter and she said where both of them were. And they're like, she told us to leave. We were planning on going back. And they're like, well, if you don't go to school tomorrow, we're going to have to file you as runaways. And it's like the closer me and my daughters get, the worse their stepmother is towards them.
It's the manipulation. It's
It is.
the wanting of having control.
Mm-hmm.
It's because I can see that. I can see that from my perspective. I can see that from her stepdad. From my perspective, once again, my perspective is from a lot of what she's told me. So my
Yeah.
perspective could be skewed. Which I'm leaning towards a lot of it is skewed, but that's what she's told me. A lot of it is from him. Even she has her mother in her phone as birth giver. And I'm like,
I'm in Haley's phone as Kinder Egg.
yeah, well, I mean, listen, it's a lot different. I mean, you guys don't live together. There's been a lot more trauma. I mean, we just, and I told her, I said, why do you have that your mother on that? And she's like, well, it's a joke. I'm like, that's kind of disrespectful, even though,
It's a Gen Z thing.
but
It is.
still, it's like it's so yeah. So and ended up that I finally got a hold. I told you. And Haley still had her on Snapchat because she ghosted me on Snapchat, but she has me still on Instagram, which is weird, which is really weird.
It's not.
So,
She wants you to see shit.
I guess you're
Yeah, but
probably
and Haley didn't even do much. I was just like, check her location, and she's like, she's in Jersey.
yeah. So
I'm
she
like,
ended up
what?
being in Jersey on Sunday or
The
Saturday afternoon.
Saturday
No,
morning, she
no, it wasn't
was,
Saturday morning. She left here Saturday morning.
or then it was Saturday. It was Saturday
Yeah,
that she was
yeah,
at her airport.
yeah. So she had this whole thing planned. She manipulated somebody to give her money to buy her a plane ticket because she said she didn't have any money.
Or somebody manipulated her into
May-
going.
Maybe I don't know. I
It's like a lot of people think that it has to be this huge thing, but it could be something as simple as like what the principal did to my daughters. Like, are you sure you're okay? He's not hurting you. He's not yelling at you. Like, he's being good to you. Like, asking those questions over and over again is manipulating the kid or manipulating everyone or anyone.
and the thing is, like, on her social media, it's just like, oh, I'm leaving, I can't wait, I'm gonna miss you guys, but I need to do something different in my life. And then next thing you know, it's a picture of a plane wing, and it says, at least we crossed paths again.
Yeah, what the fuck did that mean? Because,
Huh?
like, maybe it
And
was
that's the
song
only
lyrics.
I mean, and that's the only recently anyway that she's been on a plane. I don't it's some cryptic bullshit, and it's sad that it's come to this, and
I know.
I don't like it. It's bothered the fuck out of me, lately. I mean, and I, she's 20, and she's an adult, and like I said, it's my kid, so of course it's gonna bother me. But like at the same token, I don't want to I don't want to care. I really
Yeah.
don't. I don't because and it sucks because I stopped a line of dads that weren't there.
Yeah.
My real dad was gone. My dad's dad was gone. And I was like,
Mhm.
no, I'm not gonna do that. I'm like, that's my kid. I'm going to stick around. And me and her mother hadn't been together since Madison was like 3 months old. So it's
Yeah.
been the entire time she's been alive for the
Well,
we
Haley,
haven't been
she
together.
she only found out like a year ago. Well, no, it was like when she was 18 when I finally told her that her dad was in jail when she was born. We made up this whole story on
Gonna go
why
to
he
college
couldn't.
for 12 years.
No, because there were no pictures of him. So we said there was he was stuck at work and she was born in the middle of a blizzard. But I mean, we talked about that last week,
Yeah.
but I mean, I finally told her I was like, yeah, no, he was in jail. And it was so fucked up what they did to him. He was going to get furlough and I went into labor early and his counselor was going to put all the paperwork in first thing Monday morning and I had her Friday morning. But it's like I never wanted to talk bad about their dad to them, and I never wanted to talk bad about him publicly. I wanted to wait until they were 18 so they could make decisions for themselves.
Yeah.
He didn't feel the same way,
Apparently
and
not.
especially his wife. And like, let me tell you, his wife, she knew I was pregnant with Haley before he did. That's how close me and her were. And she was living with us to get away from her abusive mother, and I put that in air quotes because her mom is constantly at the house. And I told my daughter she needs to put some nails in a potato and chuck it at her today, but that's besides the point. But it's like I always thought that Amanda was what was the problem because our friend died in 2019. He overdosed. I went to go to the funeral and she tried to have me banned from going. And they told me I wasn't allowed to go. Now, the girls were, I had custody of them, but they were with him for Christmas. And she was like, yeah, only close friends and family can go. And they said, you're not going to be able to. And I mean, he was one of my best friends. So I called his dad and was like, hey, it's cool. I get it. It's your son's funeral. If there's a cheap ticket on that date, I'm going to take it. And they're like, what are you talking about? Like, he meant, like, you meant the world to him. He loved you. So who's telling you this? I'm like, Bill and Amanda. And they're like, he's like, I'm gonna let you talk to my wife. So it was my friend's stepmother. She's like, do you like Amanda? I'm like, nope. She's like, okay, I'll call you back. And she's like, I called Bill and told him Amanda's not allowed to come. This fucking bitch ran around to our entire friend group because this was like 2 years after he separated. So we were still kind of friends with all of our friends and was like, she was hanging all over her ex-husband and she is so threatened by me and she wants him back. I'm like, bitch, I don't want him. I kicked him out. If I wanted him, I'd have him. And if you don't knock your shit off, I'll prove it to you. And she kept her shit up. So I called and told him I wanted him back. And
You guys are
then
like an East Coast Florida Bama Shore.
I know, right?
You
So I
guys are
told her,
so trailer park. You
I know I am not anymore. I used to be, but
no, you're
I told
perfect
him
now.
I wanted him back. And then he broke up with her and I called and told her I told you so. But it's just like, it's this constant thing with her. And even my
Such a
daughter's
bitch. You're such a
I
bitch.
know. I am a cunt. I am proud of it. She deserved it. The shit she was spreading about me, like it
I
was
get that, but you're like, yeah, no, he wants me. No, he doesn't. Watch this.
so. But, like, my daughters, they're like, "You would think that you and Amanda were the ones that got divorced with how much she talks bad about you." Like, Hannah had a UTI, and I told Haley to grab her some, like, an over-the-counter supplement. I can't for the life of me remember what it's called right now, and cranberry juice. Well, did your mother tell you it was UTI and, like, refused to take her? And then a month later, she's in the hospital with kidney stones. It's like anything that my younger daughter complains about, "Well, did your mother tell you that? Did your mother tell you that?" And constantly threatens to send her here. I'm like, "Do I need to buy a ticket?" Like, I'll gladly take them off your hands, but it's just like, why do you hate my children? Just because they're my children. But it's like, it's abuse to me and it's abuse to my daughters because they have to choose who their mother is. And of course, they're going to choose me because I'm awesome and way better than her. But they have to live with her. So they have to sit there and on a daily basis pretend to hate me just to appease her. So it's just like parental alienation is just such a deep thing. And people just don't realize they think that it's just a woman just saying, "Hey, I don't want my kids to be near him." But it's so much deeper than that. Like, it's psychological abuse and manipulation, gaslighting, so much stuff. And it's like I was telling you with Madison, like, she's been told about the abuse so much that it's her truth because she thinks it actually happened. So she's going to have the same trauma responses, the same emotional problems as a kid that actually went through it because she remembers that it happened, even though it didn't happen because she's been told it so much.
And that's and that and that's what sucks. Like we tell people talk about their kids and their kids making decisions, and like this, you can do this to your kid. You can actually convince your kid that they've been abused in different ways and it not even be factual, but they still believe it.
Hmm.
Like, it's insane. Like, you have multiple people telling her none of this ever happened, and it happened. So we went to therapy one time, and Madison is telling this elaborate story, and I go, Madison, none of that happened, and I'm getting shushed by her mother and the therapist, and Madison's starting to cry, and I'm like, what the fuck is going on here? They're like, well, that's her truth. That's how she sees it. I was like, I don't give a fuck
And
if it's the truth or not.
it
It's
is It is
it's a
true though, and it's like I said to you on the phone, like, that's her truth, and you need to validate her truth,
but I don't know.
but
But she was a
not by saying, "Yes, it happened," but by addressing the situation and say, "I understand that you believe this happened, and I'm, sorry about how it made you feel, but we need to work on why you believe something so strongly happened that actually didn't happen." But she's never going to get that until she's separated from the person that convinced her of it, which is it the stepdad? Is it the mother? Or is it her own delusions?
I don't know.
And you're never going to figure it out because of who she's living with.
Yeah, and the fact that she said she didn't know how to say, like, bro, you live 19 hours away. It's not like I can come,
They don't care.
and do anything to you, literally. And like, and it's just like,
Well, and that's the thing. You don't know what your ex is doing. I mean, she could call the movie hotline and scream at the movie hotline and be like, "I'm sorry you had to hear me argue with your father." I've had people do that. Like my father
welcome
did
to
shit
movie
like that.
phone. Press one if
God,
you
do you
want to
remember that?
scream your ass off.
And that's the thing. She could be screaming at anyone and then just be like, I'm sorry. I tried to talk to your dad and tell him you didn't want to go. And we just got in a fight. You have to try to make it work." And it's like they appear like they care so much about the kid that they love them and they're doing what's in their best interest, but like that's what the child sees, but the reality is they're manipulating and they're abusing that child and convincing the child that, well, if you go, you're going to be in danger. And my daughters, they never wanted to talk to me about anything until recently, and now I wish they didn't because they are constantly blowing up my fucking bone. I love them,
Will
but
you shut up already? Leave me alone. I know. I
well,
feel like
it's I
some,
can't
some, I mean,
like
some
if
cats.
it's
I'm
like
just like,
they're fighting. So I've got Haley crying and I'm trying to calm her down. And then I've got Hannah texting me, don't believe her. She's lying. I'm like, you don't even know what she's saying. And I'm just like, I no, like you two need to go hug until you love each other again. That's how we did it in the 80s.
yeah.
But it's
Yeah, my parents literally threatened to tie our faces, me and my sister's faces together,
I know
and
we had to
until
hug, and if her arm dropped, it was another half an hour. God, we were
no,
so abused as kids. Like
we were.
even people outside of my situation were abused.
Yeah, I mean, my like I said, my parents would threaten to tie our faces together until we actually got along. And me and my sister used to get along. You know,
How many
the
flip
thing.
flops did you get chucked at your head?
Oh, a lot. Like my grandmother had a fucking boomer. Like I would be in another room, and somehow it would turn the corner, fucking turn the other corner, and smack me in the back of my head, and she'd have it back. And I was just like, how the fuck did that happen? How did she know what I was doing?
See, us Italians, we had wooden spoons.
Yeah. My mother grabbed whatever she could at one point. Like my mother beat me with a hockey stick because I was up late once. Well, I was up late. I never went to sleep. Apparently, I still don't. But uh, all she had found was a hockey stick, and I was in between the bed and the wall, and she was just jabbing the shit out of me with it. You know, because I was up watching TV. Like my mother's. Listen, I love my mother to death because she's my mother, but like she's insane. My mother's insane, and when I just went back, like she bawled. She was bawling her eyes out. She said she missed me. You know uh that she hasn't talked to me because she's sad that I left. You know all this stuff, and I just take it with a grain of salt because
Yeah.
I just take it with a grain of salt. But
I'm
like,
sure my parents love me and miss me. I'd be
yeah,
welcome to open
oh,
arms.
yeah, open arms and right back to old work. Um,
Get to work.
But but, like, I said dementia to my mother, and she fucking lost it.
You said what?
Oh, dementia. I was like,
To
"Ma,
to a
my"
woman.
yeah,
And you're still alive?
yeah, because she has dementia. I swear, I think
You
she has
don't
dementia.
tell people that had dementia that they had dementia.
I'm saying I asked her, do you think you're having?" Because my mother would literally was she was sitting there, and, my uncle died, right? And
A
nobody
woman if
told
they're
me.
on their period.
Listen, you guys are
It's
so
isn't
fucking listen, Miss Independence. I miss Independence yet. I can't say fucking period, and I can't say fucking dementia. What else can't you say?
but no,
Fucking
the thing
toothpaste?
is
Shut up.
it's an insult the way you
It's
say it.
not an insult. I go, Ma, do you think you got dementia? I said, you know, you're forgetting things. You know, I'm asking her a question and she's fumbling through her phone. She's reading her phone that don't even make sense. I'm like, Ma, I asked her for the
It
Wi-Fi
could be
hot
brain
the
fog
huh?
from menopause. It's a bitch.
My
I
mom's
forgot
60.
what store
My,
I was in the other
my
day.
my mother is 60 years old. Dementia, the brain fog from fucking menopause happened 10 years ago, at least.
I'm going through it
But
now. It's great.
plus, plus she had a tubes tied, so it happened way
I was
before that.
at no, I was at Hobby Lobby. I was like, "Oh my god, it's so hot in here." And the woman's like, "Menopause is fun." I'm like, "Love it. Hands down, best thing about being a woman. Love it." I was like drenched. I was like, "Is it hot in here?" She's like, "It is freezing in here." I'm like, she's like, "But you are like red." I'm like, it is an inferno in this store. They need to turn the heat off. She's like, it's not on, sweetheart.
But yeah, so I was talking about that and like because she was just I asked her about the funeral because I was gonna stay just in case, like, you know, go to my uncle's funeral and
Oh, I
like
thought you meant hers.
my mother's funeral.
I'm like, you didn't tell her you're sticking around for a funeral. She didn't think
I would have. Ma, I'm gonna stick around for a couple more days. I'm not
your
going to
mom is
concert.
gonna like swan dive into the grave just to get away from you.
Listen. Apparently, I can't keep any woman around me, so every woman has done a swan dive away from me. So it really doesn't fucking matter. You know, my fucking
Especially in
ex.
Ameria.
My ex had the fucking balls the other day to tell me that I'm a great. She said you're. I said something, and she goes, "No, you're a really nice person." I got
What?
because
Does she know you?
apparently she was married to the wrong person for a while. Um, where is it? Let's see. I put.
You didn't even notice that I dyed my hair.
I don't care. I
I
don't
know.
even know what to say to that. She said. I said me neither. But hey, I can't keep anyone in my life, so maybe I'm thinking I might be the problem. LOL.
No way.
That isn't true at all. You're a good person, and you know. My
Were you
response:
laughing?
I'm sorry, but the last person I'm gonna believe is the woman who left me because I wasn't good enough for her. I'm sorry. What? Yeah, suck on that tit. Suck on that titty bottle. I don't understand. I'm perplexed. I'm in awe.
About this or your ex?
My ex, like, how could the woman who said I wasn't good enough tell me I'm a good person?
Hmm.
But like,
My ex, Ruben, is an amazing guy,
you had an ex
but
named Ruben?
he's Mexican. But we just weren't. I met him at the wrong time, and I mean, I'm glad I did because I love my
At a Home
husband.
Depot?
I met him while I was being trafficked. I was with him when I escaped, so I
Did you
was.
both escape together?
No, he wasn't
Did he
being
cross the
trafficked.
border? Did he help you cross the border and at the same time you were coming
No,
back and he
he
was coming?
constantly told me he was a dryback because he came legally.
He was a,
Because like we used to like he would just come in and be like, "Hey, how'd your day go?" I'm like, "Fuck you, douche." So I'd throw water on his back, and then I'd buy like Spick and Span. I'd be like, "Hey, can you grab the cleaner?"
Are you Italian?
Yeah, I'm Italian.
So he was calling you a Dago. He's
Yeah,
like,
I
"Hey,
know that.
Dago."
Yeah, he's like, "Hey, how'd your day go?" We constantly were doing it. And when I would throw water on his back, he'd be like, "I'm a dry back, miss. I came here legally." But he's a great guy. And I'm sure he's making his current girlfriend as happy as he can. So people can be good people and not good for you.
I guess. I guess, but I just
I mean, I think you're a good person, but I think we'd kill each other if we ever dated.
what you're married. You've been married for 11 years.
Okay, and I could get divorced tomorrow if I felt like it.
And I'm not going to date you. It's not going to happen.
Am I not hot enough for you?
No.
Is it because I don't have teeth?
Yes. That's one prerequisite I have. You got to have all your fucking teeth. Or at least a
Mm.
dental plan. Jesus. But I mean, it's just the situation is just a sad situation, man.
And it
And
is because it's
and
like the kids are brought in the middle. And I saw a meme last night on Facebook that says, "Your child is not your ex's child. It's your child."
yeah. And I never talk bad about her mother ever in front of her. Never. I made jokes like, "Oh, you're just like your mother," or "You do that because your mother's crazy," and it would just be a joke. It wouldn't be like, your mother's a piece of shit. She really truly is. She left me for this guy she's married to now and not. No, I never went into any of that. I just, made jokes about it. Yeah, you're nuts because your mom's nuts, your grandma's nuts, your great grandma's nuts.
And you're not
That's
once told her that that's like a feminine characteristic?
being nuts.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah. And plus you're a female. So you're, predestined to be insane. And then you have levels.
Predispositioned.
Whatever, pre seminal fluids. All right. Levels.
Oh my God. I kept telling like my daughters, I'm like, I gave you life. Give me or do whatever. And they're like, I didn't ask for it. I'm like, listen, there were 300 million sperm when your dad nutted in me, and you fought and swam the fastest. You definitely did fight and want this life. Haven't said it to me since. And there's so many times that they say the most craziest shit, and they're like, Mom, I'm like, I'm just wishing I swallowed and gave your dad a blowjob. Just want to go back to that day and suck your dad's dick. I love that they're adults now and I can say shit like that.
Listen to last week's podcast. I thought I would be able to handle it. I couldn't fucking handle it. I was just like, nope, no, don't want to hear this. And that's the thing. Like last week's podcast was fun. You know,
It
we had
was.
fun and we, you know, and y'all razzed the shit out of me.
We all yelled at
Yeah.
the same time.
Yeah,
It's
Will,
on
you
the
came at the wrong time.
inside. My daughter wanted to draw a picture for you.
I bet she did.
I'm like, you
Bet
are
she
not
wanted to-
helping my friend be a better lover. No.
I bet she wanted to fucking have her AI try to teach me after it tried to off itself.
Oh my God, she's making a PowerPoint presentation about her AI's trauma. She was doing it while I was on the phone with her earlier. I'm like, I'm going to bed. Goodbye.
Listen, your daughter, for as much as I was razzing, your daughter's a good fucking writer, man. Holy shit.
Oh, I know.
Holy shit. She went
She's
into detail.
amazing.
Like, I'd be like, and then he punched his face, and then the dad stepped on his chest, and then the dad punched him in the face, and then he would put the boot on his head. Like, yo,
You know
she went
what's like
into
scary
fucking
though? Because
detail.
like in one of so in her fanfic, and it's also true in the Idol 7 show, Sogo's dad is abusive, but it's like the detail that she has scares me because it's almost like she's writing out my story. Like, I wonder how much she actually remembers. But I'll send you more of her. Like, I only read like a couple of paragraphs.
I don't even read the back of a fucking tampon box. You think I'm gonna
Why
read
the
what
fuck
you're
would
doing?
you read the back of a tampon box?
Because in some people's bathrooms, they have no fucking reading material, and sometimes I'm an idiot and I forget my phone. I got nothing else to read, nothing else to do. So,
Why do men need to read when they take a shit? I mean,
we
I'm
need
in and
something to
out in
do.
like 2 minutes.
Well, I mean, listen, that's the only quiet time we have sometimes.
Yeah, I leave my door open though, so and I can see my TV, so I just watch TV.
Amanda's a writer. She writes books. She has, dude. So one of her, she sells bookmarks and when healing
Instead of we healing from trauma. But and that's what my daughter says is that she's working her trauma out in her writing, and I do mine. I just do better at speaking.
But wait,
So
shut up. So
I do a
Amanda,
podcast.
shut up. So Amanda has a shirt that says "I love," and then it's a picture of a book and then corn right after it because she does adult
Ooh,
books.
spicy books.
Yeah, she makes do so everything has to do with adult corn on it, and I want that shirt so freaking badly. She has another one that says what the fuck a dinner movie. Don't tell her to shut up. Shut up, Amanda. Dinner movie and
He
a
does
book,
every episode. I ignore him.
and my book boyfriend or something like that. Her shorts, her merchandise is amazing. She
Let her
has
take a look
actually
at it.
can you put the date up of your book signing? Because I know it's coming up in New York, in Staten Island.
Who'd want to go to Staten Island?
Apparently people do, because apparently she's got a lot.
Like, who goes there on purpose?
Apparently they have a
Actually,
Marriott or
Staten
whatever.
Island's a lot better than Long Island. Can you imagine like living on Long Island?
Tomorrow.
Nice. Congrats. Are you on Book Talk?
Can you just give me the information so I could put it up on the screen?
She did.
She's in a wheelchair too. I mean, I'm here, Beach. Whoopi's here. Whoopi was on whatchamacallit. on Rumble making comments. He said his dad punched him in his face too, and he came in at the wrong time. But yeah, so Amanda's got some amazing stuff. But yeah, she's in a wheelchair, so she calls herself a taco truck. We call her Meals on Wheels. All. But Amanda also, her dad. So I wish I had the picture. I don't have the picture, and we should have her. You know what? We should have her fucking on. Let's have her on.
You do not call her Meals on Wheels.
Yes, it did. She called herself a taco truck. We call her Meals on Wheels. Anyway. It was funny because she was in a live, and when you do TikTok lives, when you get certain gifts, you have to do certain things. Like if you get a paper crane, you have to do a crane kick like Mr. Miyagi.
Really?
So she was on live.
Why?
Because that's just a fun little thing you do.
Oh, I thought something like
no, it's just a fun little thing you do. So one of the things you do,
I don't get gifts when I'm on live.
If somebody throws you a corgi, you have to shake your ass. So she was walking away. Yeah, kind of twerk, kind of. So the corgi shakes its ass in like a heart kind of way. So you're
Which is
supposed
so
to,
inappropriate. I don't know why they have that one.
So you're supposed to stimulate the corgi. So she was walking away, and she's on her crutches, and I didn't have enough money, or else I was gonna throw her a corgi to twerk while she was walking away on her crutches. And I go, please,
so bad.
Please, somebody throw her a corgi, and they wouldn't. But if you get a flying corgi, I don't know how many coins.
Have you thought about therapy?
Huh?
Have you thought about therapy?
I'm in therapy.
Really?
Yeah.
Can I come in on one of your sessions and tell your therapist all the stuff you're not telling your therapist?
Do you think I don't tell my therapist all this?
Yes.
Fuck you. I tell my therapist everything.
I know. I tell mine too.
I don't give a shit.
I'm like almost certain that when my therapist gets off our session, he goes right into his own with his therapist. Awkward silence.
I'm trying. She sent me the picture of her dad. And I got to see if it'll come up.
The class?
I have to see if it'll come up on here. I am dark as fuck. Yeah, it will be dark as fuck.
I'm darker, I bet.
I mean, you darker. Anyway, but
they have bigger dicks, and they're purple.
Purple? What are they? Eddie Murphy?
No.
What the fuck?
They're purple, and they're huge.
Yep, we're gonna make your dad YouTube famous if I can get it on the screen.
On a bet.
But yeah, so
why don't you just pull it up on your phone and stick it in front of your camera like I do?
Because I want to get a good picture of it. I don't want to just.
Why are we looking at her dad?
Because it's a great picture.
Okay.
But yeah, so I mean, so the parent. We were talking about the parent manipulation.
I mean, you should see this guy. He's pretty hot. My buddy Carlos.
You're such an asshole. Such an asshole. I don't think it's gonna save to the photos because I have too much. I have to fucking unload some stuff. Is that your new iPhone 37?
15 Pro Max. You're just so jealous of my phone.
I'm not jealous of your phone. I just think it's dumb to have to buy that.
Well, I switched carriers, so I got a new phone.
So that's her dad. She dressed him up.
Where?
Right there.
I don't see a head.
In the urn.
Oh. He's in an urn. Oh my God. That's so sad. Jesus Christ.
She took him shopping with her.
Forgive me, Lord. I wish my dad was in an urn.
I think she
I
said she
take my
took him.
dad with me everywhere.
I think she said she took him to Ross with her to pick out clothes for this summer,
If
and then for Christmas she bought him an
Why
outfit.
are you so high pitched?
Wait till Halloween, she says. I'm so excited.
What the fuck is wrong with you? Like, talk.
Oh. It's amazing. So
You
I
okay?
was
Wait, let's breathe. Take in a deep breath.
when he comes.
Was he like a good dad? Just,
Listen, if he was a shitty dad, I wouldn't have bought him a Woody costume.
well, see, that's something I would do to my dad.
Oh, I got my good jibble. I'm lightheaded. I'm lightheaded. Oh, Lord have mercy. Lord, I apologize, people, to starving pygmies in New Guinea.
What's with the pig nose? Like in the middle? Like snorting? Is that
Yeah,
it?
it's a snorting emoji. My mom's gonna be pissed. So I on TikTok we did a scavenger hunt the other yesterday, right? Where I got this giant gnarly thing because I smashed my bed.
Okay.
I smashed my bed trying to run around the house to get objects. And
You
one of
are
the things
always on TikTok Live too.
it's the funny thing. I got a soundboard now for it.
Oh, Jesus Christ, those poor people.
So
I
so
would
yes.
beat you with that soundboard.
So we were doing a scavenger hunt, and one of the participants, his name is Diltz. The host, Ryan, asked for something shiny that is bigger than your hand. He wanted something shiny that is bigger than your hand. So Diltz ran and grabbed an urn, and he showed the urn that was shiny and bigger than his hands. And as Diltz held it, he turned it to reveal two googly eyes.
I get the comment. I can't. I'm okay. I'm okay. I'm okay. Come on. You want to come up? I'm going to say hi to Davy. He misses Nymeria. Yeah, he loves you. I'm okay. I'm okay. Get down there. I'm okay.
So yeah, so Diltz turned around to googly eyes. Just everybody's just decorating their parents' urn. Seems like the thing to do.
I already talked to Mitch about it.
Oh, you're going real quick. You're going soon.
When he dies, on his headstone while he's waiting to go to Arlington, it takes years to get into Arlington. I'm gonna put loving husband, amazing father, and dickhead for not telling me that Harry Potter was a Horcrux.
You're so bent out of shape for that.
I was crying to him the other day, last night
You're
about
still
it.
crying over that?
Mm-hmm.
Why?
Well, I'm also like halfway crying about Michael Gambon dying. So I don't know. I talked to my
Who?
therapist, Dumbledore, the actor that played Dumbledore.
Didn't he fucking die like a year ago?
It was like a month ago, and I'm still sad.
No, he
I
didn't. It
talked
was a
to.
couple.
No, it was recently. There were two. The first one died after I think the second movie, and then the other one died like a couple months ago at the most. Might have been August, end of August. I don't know why I'm so sad about it. I haven't talked to my therapist about it. I don't know. It's either I knew him and I don't remember knowing him, or it's like displaced grief. But I'm so fucking sad about it.
Oh yeah. Wow. Oh no, wait. Hold on. Oh yeah, he died on the 28th.
Mm-hmm. No,
Oh yeah.
it wasn't this week. It was a couple weeks ago.
Yeah, I was like, yeah. Wow, yeah. But you knew him? Like knew
I
him
knew
in the
I didn't
biblical sense? Was he a customer of yours?
I don't think so. I wouldn't be this sad if he was a customer, but I knew other celebrities because I was always in that scene. So I know a lot of famous people. Not all of them were clients or bad people. So, I mean, I went to a Snoop Dogg concert. It was the Up in Smoke tour with Dr.
I went
Dre.
to that.
I went, yeah. Did you have backstage passage and smoke a blunt
I
with
wasn't
Snoop
fucking
Dogg?
anybody in the tour, no, so I wouldn't be
I wasn't
I wasn't a
either.
fucking party favor.
I wasn't either. I just had backstage passes because I knew the owner of
No, I
the
was literally on the fucking
arena.
lawn. I went to the one in Pennsylvania. That's the one I went to.
It was in New Jersey in Camden.
How did you go to the one? You're from you were in that area and you went that way. I was in this area. I went that way. Yeah, we
Well,
went to the one.
at the time it was the Sony E Center, and my friend's mom was the assistant to the CEO of Sony, so I got backstage passes to like every concert there.
Yeah, well, no, we were literally on the lawn watching from
Then
a mile and a half
there
away.
is no amphitheater in Philly.
I don't think it's not Philly. I think it was like in Scranton.
Oh,
It was in
maybe out
Pennsylvania.
there.
Yeah, it was like in
Why would you
Scranton.
drive all the way out there when they played in Camden?
I'm
Okay.
not fucking going to Camden. I went to the whitest possible neighborhood in the East Coast that we
Yeah,
could
well,
have
it was
went to.
different because we would drive up 95 and take the Ben Franklin Bridge over, and then it was right there. So we didn't have to spend that much time in Camden.
Anyway, it was the whitest neighborhood we could find that had 50 Cent in it and Busta Rhymes. And we went and we were the only what was it, three or four of us who knew every word to every song. And it was just White Kid Central and it was hilarious. And it was a
Mm.
great time.
It was a
But
good concert.
it was. It was really I think Busta Rhymes at our concert wanted to fight somebody in the stands because they were talking shit.
Mm.
It was fun. We brought a little fucking barbecue. We started barbecuing, and everybody was like, "What the fuck are you guys doing? Like, you guys don't fucking tailgate here? What the fuck?"
I went to I can't remember which Ozfest, which one it was. It was one of the one I think it was supposed to be the last one, or it was one of the ones after the last one, and it was in 2003, and my ex
For a
was
person
in.
who got punched in the face a lot, you went to a lot of cool shit.
I know. I had a good life, minus, the trafficking. But my ex was in jail,
Besides
and I.
being a '92 Honda Accord.
Mhm. But we I went with my friend, and she had spinal surgery and was in the fucking mosh pit. I'm like, you dumbass. So I had to go in there and rescue her from breaking her back and getting paralyzed, but I was trashed. I love
What else?
concerts.
What else is new? Yeah, the concert
What
that
do you mean, what
you were.
else new? I've been clean and sober for almost just about 13 years.
Yes, and before those 13 years, you were trashed every day.
Who's pasty every day?
I don't know. No, it's probably the lighting.
Maybe you should
But
turn them back off.
maybe I should just fucking turn you off. Mitch, light work.
Babe, Davy wants you.
I want another joke.
Babe, what are you
Leave him
doing?
alone. Leave him alone. Let the man relax.
Hold on, I can't hear. What?
That's because you have headphones on, you dummy.
Hold on, what?
Kelly
Oh, he's
smells.
taking a shit. He'll be a while.
Boy, looking like a snow cone. Listen, you're half paralyzed. You're one step better than Amanda. Okay, you're just not in a wheelchair yet. Let's just put it that way. You will be pretty soon.
I'm never going out in public with you on my little mobility scooter.
Oh, this is gonna be great. So much fun.
Mm-mm.
But anyway, so yeah.
I'm gonna like call you one day and be like, "Hey, I'm at the hospital because I lost feeling in my legs," and you're gonna make fun of me, aren't you?
Yeah. I mean, why wouldn't I?
Because it's sad when people can't walk.
When I die, there's going to be a
Everyone will
party.
celebrate.
Yes. There's going to be a giant party when I go.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I mean,
Sing them your song for my parents' funeral.
she's the perfect. No, you're just at the perfect height. All right.
Davy!
What?
Carlos.
Shut your whore mouth. I mean, listen. Yeah, parking. Yeah. Want to date around Christmas? Anyway, but yeah,
Sing the song.
I'm not your trained monkey. What the fuck?
Sing, damn it.
Me.
So I told Davy that I was going to show. So my parents trafficked me, to the people that don't know me. And I said that my family has banned anyone from telling me that my parents die. And all I have planned is to show up at their funeral with Bon Voyage balloons that I'm going to tie to their finger and play Ding Dong, the Witch is Dead.
No, you were gonna get a mariachi band.
You suggested
Well,
that.
wait.
And then I said, no, I should have, what the fuck is that? The quartet, barbershop quartet.
Yeah.
And then you came
And
up
then I
with your
said
song.
that I would come and I would sing as the Three Little Munchkins. I would sing Ding dong, the witch is dead. You know which, the wicked witch. Ding dong, the wicked witch is dead. Oh well, oh well, oh well. Ding dong, the witch is dead. Ha 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 ha.
And pay you $1,000 worth every penny.
A band inside a cage. Yeah. Fucking rattle this motherfucker up. What?
I wonder if I can contact their lawyer and see if I can get my cage when they die in their will. So I'm allowed to joke or not allowed to joke about it? You are? But when I make a joke, you're like, huh?
But why? I mean, does it have your name on it?
I don't remember. I don't think so. It was always dark in the room, so
Did you have to wear a collar?
a couple times. A shock collar.
A shock collar?
Mm-hmm.
Like while you were in the cage?
Mm-hmm.
I mean that would be add insult to injury, don't you think?
I don't think they cared.
Were you just a fucking experiment? Put Christmas lights on it. Are you gonna go back to remember old times?
Hmm?
Are you gonna go back in?
No, I'm not even like it's so fucked up because like in the first couple of years after I escaped, if I got like overwhelmed, I would hide under tables because it was the closest thing to a cage that wasn't a cage because it's the only place I could calm myself. What the fuck do you have a Michael Vick jersey? He abuses puppies. What? What?
Table like a
Why do
Steve's
you think I
dog.
don't have a table in my apartment?
That makes sense now. But you,
Yeah, I would. I would go under tables and hide because I mean, it's like when they would put me in the cage, I would eventually calm down. So it was like the only way I knew how to because it tastes delicious. It's yogurt. And I do it a certain way just to turn Davy on.
doesn't turn me on at all.
Yeah, it does.
It
You go
doesn't, gummy
whack one
bear.
every time we get off.
Oh man, I just the fact that you. I mean, small you, I probably would have been like, "Oh, you're so cute." Now. What are you trying to get your heartbeat?
No, Mitch texted.
I just, man, that's you ran under a table
I wouldn't run under the table. I would walk over to the table and get underneath of it and lay there until I calmed down.
like the girl in Shameless.
God, I don't remember.
We watched it at your house. It was the first couple episodes.
Oh,
Remember the
yeah.
father throws the table up and there's his
Davy wants
daughter
you.
sucking the soul out of the gay kid.
Davy would like you to tell another joke.
I don't have one off the top of my head.
Come on.
Tell him to tell the other one again. The one about the necrophiliacs driving.
Tell the grandma one to our audience. We have people in here tonight.
Who's in here?
I don't know. His friends from TikTok.
Oh, why can't he tell it?
Because you do it better. Come on. Look at his face. He can't wait.
That's what his face always looks like.
I'm always excited. Come on, Mitch. Tell it. Tell the horsey.
Come on. Tell it. Have mercy.
What?
It's Davy. Just say the fucking joke or he's not going to stop.
What isn't he gonna stop? Now I'm curious.
Oh my God, Mitch. Say the joke. I'll tell it. Go away. You're a dick. So this is my husband's favorite joke. It's not his favorite. He likes it. So I was going down on my grandmother the other day, and all of a sudden, I tasted horse semen. I just thought that's weird, and then I was like, "Oh, that must be how she died."
She fucked a horse to death.
I don't think she fucked it. I think it is implying she gave it head.
So it choked her to death?
Well, and how the joke came into my life is he was still in the military and he texted me. He's like, I found the perfect joke. It's got everything. It's got incest, bestiality, necrophilia. And I'm like, God, why are you so obsessed with necrophilia? I know it's terrible, but it's hilarious.
Oh my god. Oh.
It's a joke, but you say it from the first person. Like I was going down on my grandma, and all of a sudden I tasted horse semen.
So then she didn't make out with the horse. The horse
That's
fucked
right.
her to death.
You're giving your grandma moral, but and then I thought to myself, that must be how she died. Dude, I remember a joke. I remember pieces of it. I was told it like a long time ago. And it was something about like corn.
You can't, Whoopi. Your back is broken.
What a dick. But it had to do with corn on the cob, and they thought it was buttery, and they found out like I don't know. I gotta look it up. It's a really
She's
funny
using
one.
it like a cucumber.
Yeah, pretty much.
Like, do you know how they make? You know
All
how
right.
they make pickles?
You don't have to pay me back if you go and record it and go to like the grocery store or Walmart, buy a pack of condoms, lube, and a cucumber. and
No.
put it on the conveyor belt. And when they're ringing it up, just say, "Do you think it'll fit?" You don't have to pay me back if you do it.
Okay. Do I have to put the condom on the cucumber?
No, just a box of condoms, a bottle of lube, and a
And
cucumber. And just as they're ringing it up, just nonchalantly, "Do you think it'll fit?" But you got to get it all on tape.
Okay.
This weekend.
Yeah, I could probably swing that this weekend.
And you got to put it on TikTok too.
Okay. Listen, I have no.
Don't tag me though, because my friends will see it and be like, "What the fuck?"
Fucking tap me, woman. Don't tap me. All right, folks. Well, with that, we're gonna say thank you.
Davey has decided the show has ended, so we're gonna get off.
Well, I mean, we're kind of fading out there.
Yeah, because you never can stay on fucking topic. Yeah, you can call in. No, we got someone that wants to come in. Let him in.
How can he call in?
You send a link and they pop in, dumbass.
Where's that? No, he just wants to call in. He doesn't want to be on in the
Call
studio.
Davey's phone. You want his number?
He has my number.
Yeah, call him. He'll put you on speaker. I hate this music. You need to pick a new one.
We only have a certain preset music.
Pick a new one.
Love you too, Amanda.
Nice meeting you.
But yeah, so with that, Cal, where can people find you?
In a cage. No. Answer your phone.
It's not ringing.
Turn that fucking music off.
I'm gonna turn you off.
You do.
No.
Every time you shit in my bathroom. And it's a lot.
Hello?
Hey, you better put me on if I'm watching.
We can hear you.
Oh shit. Okay. So Davey, I'm gonna, you keep making fun of my back. I'm gonna slide you back over the border wall that you jumped over, big boy.
Is that all?
No. Hey, why'd the kid bounce across the highway?
Why did the kid bounce across the highway?
Because he wasn't wearing a seatbelt. Went through the windshield.
No, I think they bounce. I think they splat.
Is that all? So I can't listen to this shit. Why did it get across the highway?
I can hear myself. It's weird. All right, is that it, Whoop?
Hey, Kelly, why did the kid cry in the cage?
I don't know why.
She said, I don't know why.
Because they want to turn off the lights and open the doors.
Goodbye. You like this one better?
I do. The other one sounds like too galactic.
All right. Well, anyway, Cal, where can the people find you?
You can find me on the Unbroken Podcast on all major podcast platforms, including Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Google Podcasts, Amazon, and a whole bunch of other ones that I don't know the name of. I'm also Beautiful Mistake 24 on TikTok, and you can find my nonprofit, the After the Last Sale Foundation, to support sex trafficking survivors at afterthelast.sale.com, and at the very bottom there are links to all my social media.
Do you roll into the shower or does somebody throw you in?
God, stop.
I'm just asking for a friend. And you can find me on the Business Party Podcast on Wednesdays. We might be going Tuesdays, but we might be shaking it up a little. Doing a different show on Tuesdays. Wednesdays, the Business Party Podcast, 7 Central, 8 Eastern. You can find us here next Friday again at 8 Central.
Well, actually,
9.
Mitch will be sitting in for me because I'm going to the Taylor Swift movie.
Yeah, she's going to the Taylor Swift movie. So, yes,
So.
it'll be me and Mitch next week, and maybe he'll tell his jokes.
No, he's ready to talk about the Second Amendment. He's going to bore the fuck out of you.
No, he's not. I love the Second Amendment. Maybe we'll actually talk about that story that we've been wanting to talk about from Florida. Those guys that got arrested.
Oh, yeah, they got 5 beers.
Yeah.
Matt Hoover and Justin something or other.
So, yeah. Then you can find me also on the Weekend Hangover on Sundays at 7 Central, 8 Eastern. It looks like you. And you can find me on Twitter at MW Troublemaker. And you can find all my links on my TikTok at Troublemaker Davy, DAVY. You done?
Mm-hmm. Davy, I love you.
Are you done?
No.
Squirrel has faked its own death and then even staged a crime scene.